Right. Welcome back, everybody, to the final session of day one, and some exciting session too. Um, let's see in the chat here if you guys are in here. Just have you guys tag in, say hello, just to make sure we see everybody's back in here. There we go. Now it's kicking in. Now I feel like I'm not alone. That's the one downside, like I said, of doing this, hosting it. You feel like you're, on a lonely island. No pun intended. So for this here last session, like I said, I hope you guys got a ton of value from today's sessions. I really did. I joined most of them, and it has been really cool to see. So now that we're back in here, we got a really, really exciting session for this last one. And the coolest thing is, I don't know if you knew about this, but somebody is going to win a trip to Mexico, all expenses paid, to an all-inclusive resort, which is wild. Some of the criteria to that was making a workflow template contest. So folks have submitted their contests, their submissions with their own workflows that they have in Financial Sense, and the contestants were selected. That those are presented, and there are 5 contestants, and we got 3 judges. I am not one of the judges, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring on the judges now, and I'm going to introduce them. So why don't we bring on the judges for now into here, and I will introduce them each, and then they're going to tell you all about themselves. Yes, and lovely Mexico for sure, because it is currently 40 degrees in New Jersey and very cold. So as they're coming on in here, yep, there we go. We got Kellie Parks. Kellie, welcome. We got Peter Piluk. Piluk or Piluk?
Piluk.
Piluk, yes. And then we got Denise Kirk. So, sorry, Denise. Oh, Denise Kirk. Okay, so yes, hi everybody. Yes. Welcome in. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves and tell everybody who you are, and then we're going to have you guys bring on the contestants. Kellie, you go first.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm Kellie Parks, a certified professional bookkeeper up here in Canada, but I do spend lots of time in the U.S. and work with U.S. accounting firms and businesses. That's enough about me.
Perfect. Peter?
My name is Peter Piluk. I have an accounting firm called Creative Minds Accounting, and we work with creative types like artists, musicians, software developers, and the like. And I'm also a Financial Sense workflow champion.
Oh, cool. And you are currently on vacation, right?
I am. I'm doing field research in Punta Cana, different country, but it's the weather's beautiful here, so.
Love it. And Denise?
Hi, I'm Denise Kirk. I'm the owner of Fused Accounting Services, and I'm one of the contestants. So I don't know if I'm supposed to be here right now.
They brought on the wrong one. That's what I thought. All right, we'll swap her out for Denise Williams. You don't get to judge yourself because and we all know who's gonna win. There we go. Yes. So that would be illegal. All right, cool. Somebody else in the audience has just come back from Punta Cana. Cool. Denise Williams, the correct one. Sorry about that.
There's no right or wrong, Denise. There's only other Denises.
Yes, there's only other ones. Your camera is off, Denise, if you want to turn it back on, and then introduce yourself, and then we'll go with that.
There we go. Hi, everybody. My name is Denise Williams. I am the founder of Fiscal Flavors Consulting. We do a lot of work with restaurants and hospitality businesses. We have been using Financial Sense since the middle of last year, and it has absolutely changed our business. So really excited to walk through all these workflows with you guys today, and hopefully get some good takeaways for your firms.
Awesome. So Kellie, why don't you go ahead and introduce all of the contestants, and then we're going to get to see their workflows, and we're going to see what they got for us.
Okay. So we are going to start with Melissa Brunet. Hopefully it's Brunet, not Brunet. I just thought I'd put the Canadian spin on it, of Tandem Books, and her workflow is a year-end review.
Hi, everyone. Yes, you did pronounce it properly. It is Brunet. It's actually French, Brunet. Yeah, so from Tandem Books, I only have 5 minutes, so I'm going to jump right to it. I'm going to share my screen and entire screen. Here we go. Okay, so we submitted year-end reporting as our workflow template. Reason why we have this workflow, it's because year ends are often something that can easily slip through the cracks with different year ends and so forth. So we found that the more detailed that this was, the easier it was for our clients to be prepared months before year end. So we have the pre-year end category that starts 2 months, even sometimes 3 months, depending on how difficult the client is, for pre-end preparation. So do we have any write-offs to do? We do a lot of law firm services. So the trust listing, we have to look at that. A lot of assets that are maybe not mentioned or different investments, etc. Sending a client a pre-year end email, which we have templates here for corporation or self-employed individuals. So depending on what we need from them, and reminders for the few important deadlines that they have for CRA payments. And then we jump into verifying our work. So making sure that we've gotten everything from accountants from previous periods and that our trial balances works and everything. Clients have their homework, so they know exactly what that needs. So from that email, the tasks are created. Then they have their auto reminders through the schedule or auto reminder here. And then we can jump into the work. So we are a team of 6. We have a payroll administrator that only does payroll. So if she is assigned to a file, she's there. We like to run HST projects simultaneously. So this is just a friendly reminder for the bookkeeper to jump on that HST if it falls within the year end. And then the work is there. So details of how to review a profit and loss report, all the little things that could potentially, over the years that we've seen, that are exceptions that we make sure that a new person coming on doesn't want to miss. Same thing for the balance sheet. It's essentially everything that needs to be reviewed, CRA reconciliations, etc. Reviewing your balance sheet to make sure, again, accountants hate to receive trial books that don't match their previous work. They don't want to redo the work. And then review time entries. So we like to look at, okay, how much time did we spend on this file over this year? Should we be reviewing fees? This is something that we added in there. Reporting to the client. So we have an email here for the client to schedule a meeting. So we under a schedule a meeting link, and then they can go ahead and schedule their meeting. We have a meeting with the client, make the necessary changes, and then send the year-end documents to the accountant, which is another template that we have here. So in order to be able to close that template, we then close it once it's reported to the accountant, and we create the post-year-end reporting because sometimes the accountants takes time to get the documents from them, so we go in there. So how this helps us is basically being able to, as soon as the file is open on onboarding, we have the year-end date, the team lead opens up that workflow, and the bookkeeper already knows they have a year-end coming up, and the data comes in with more specific due dates within each project. Why it's set up this way, why it's so detailed, because there's so many exceptions. Every type of file will have little things that you don't want to miss. So we've made sure to put everything in one. And if it doesn't apply, it just doesn't apply. You check it off and that's it. I think that's 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah, that sounds awesome.
That was very cool.
Thank you so much.
I just want to throw out there, because our American friends or international friends may not know this, that in Canada, very often a year-end date is not December 31st. So that's
Exactly.
much more common here than it is in other parts. So in Canada, we tend to move them around so that we have a better workflow,
Yes.
or a better,
Yeah.
we don't have a crunch. And then
Exactly.
our GST, which is our VAT tax, may actually still be filed annual, quarterly, according to the calendar, just to keep us all on our toes. So that's a really important piece of knowledge of why you need those dates are so critical. It's not just December 31st year ends.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
Absolutely.
I learned something new.
Yeah, and that was the big thing, right? It's not like, okay, it's January, now we have all of these year ends to do. It's every client, like we don't have that many in December. They're literally all over the place. So
Wow.
to have that reminder come up has, like our year ends now go out within 45 days instead of sometimes it was 3 months, right? So within 45 days, the accountants have their stuff and everybody's happy and we move on to better things.
That's great. Thanks, Melissa.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
All right.
Now we're going to talk to Jennifer. Oh, sorry, Sanders of Paxis CPA.
Nice.
Welcome,
For now,
Jennifer.
everybody, throw some in the chat for now. Throw some claps and stuff for the from Melissa's presentation. We love to see that one. With some good stuff. So let's see some of that. There we go. All right, take it away.
All right, I'm here. I'm not sure why oh, there I am. Hello, everybody. I'm Jennifer. I'm from Paxis CPA. I'm our firm administrator, and we work out of Norman, Oklahoma. And the template I'm going to be showing today is a client onboarding checklist that we created. I work on all the onboarding of the clients, and it's just been kind of a mess all over the place. So we developed this checklist so that we could simplify onboarding process. So before we did this checklist, we had an email that we sent to all of our clients, and it was just a really long email, and it had several action points, but it was just a lot of information. And so we had these links and file requests and all this stuff. So we spent so much time chasing this info, we decided to scale it down and create a template in Financial Sense. So we in our client onboarding template, after the engagement letter is signed, when I click this, when I click the completion of this task, it creates our client onboarding checklist. So that comes over here. And so this allows us to request things. It allows us to see what's been done, what still needs to be done. The biggest part about this checklist is that we are able to get the client into Financial Sense and working with the portal immediately. It's standardized, but it can be changed, for each client's need. Some clients don't have tax returns, for instance. So we can the first checklist is the first task is to set up the client portal. And so this whole checklist will be sent to the client in an email. They upload their tax return. They create a login for us so that we can log into their bank accounts, and it provides them more information underneath, and they can add, attachments, and they can chat with us on these different tasks. We can send reminders. We can track the progress of the clients, all the documents and items that we've requested from the clients at one glance. Everything's in one place: the files, the comments, the deadlines. And so now, not only do the clients get to set up their portal right away after signing, we've cut out the back and forth emails and save lots of admin time. The onboarding is more consistent, smooth, and professional, and clients have definitely noticed a difference. So I send another email out. I send this initial email out. It tells them what their billing schedule will be. It tells them about their team, and then it explains that they will receive an email with this checklist. And the clients have seemed to love it so far. We've used it for about 2 or 3 months, and everybody has rave reviews. It's wonderful to get the clients in there, talking and chatting and uploading. And it's been really hard to take our legacy clients and convert them to Financial Sense. So this is really great just to get them in there and started right away. And we also have down here where they can add other documents later if we need them. And then we can also add team tasks if necessary. So it's just been a great, efficient process. And I appreciate you guys letting me present today.
Yay! Thank you for showing us that. We appreciate you, Jennifer.
Thank
That was
you.
awesome.
Yeah. Okay, now we're going to bring back the other Denise. So Denise Kirk of Fused Accounting Services is coming in with personal tax flow workflow.
Hi there, everybody. I'll just share my screen. I'm Denise from Fused Accounting. Can you see my screen?
Yep, we sure can.
Okay, good.
Yep.
Perfect. So we're presenting our personal tax return template. And the reason that we have created this is because we trade time for dollars, and every dollar spent chasing a client for documents, clarifying what, who's doing what, and training a staff member is revenue lost. So the way we have created this is it mirrors our natural flow of how our work happens within our office. On the side here, you can see that we have multiple people that are attached to different sections, and we have deadlines set up for a client. So everybody's responsible for their own piece of the puzzle and accountable. We start off with a client task email, which is down here.
Denise,
And
I'm going to jump in for a second because I just realized something. So this is another Canadian workflow, and a T1 is a personal tax return.
yes,
It's a personal tax return.
right.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a scheduled client task where we have an email that can list and give them deadlines and list what we require from them, and a link to their portal so they can upload information. From there, the client can check off their items. They can make comments to us and we can respond to them. So it's a great way of communicating with the client without having to be on the phone. As the client progresses and our T1 person collects information, they check off what is required so that they know at any time where they are in the process with this client. Once we have the client checking off all their data, we go into processing the tax return. And in each section, we have different people who are responsible. So in this example, CT is responsible for preparing the return. And again, there's a whole bunch of checks to make sure that they don't miss anything. And then it goes to the person who's responsible to review the return. And reviewing the return and meeting with the client, again, is something that helps us so that we can meet with the client. We, on a side note, we use Team Chat for all of our documentation as we're building our tax return. It goes with clients, what we want to talk to them about, as well as flagging team members if something needs to be fixed. So that Team Chat is a huge benefit and help for us. So we go to preparing the return, we go to review the return, and then prepare the documents for signing, issuing an invoice, confirming ready to e-file the return, making sure that we capture all e-file departments. And then we complete the package, which is done by administration, and we download the notice assessment later. So we've captured everything that we need to on a tax return. We know exactly where each client is at what time. And it has changed. It's been a game changer for our business on processing. The features, extra features that we love are, like I said, the team chat. That's where all of our communication for a project goes. The client tasks has been huge. The clients love this because they know exactly what they're missing to provide us. Time tracking, of course, I can double check what our productivity and our capacity is for work. And the resource link, which I wanted to show here, the resources link for a client is amazing because it can take us directly into notes on a client. So the impact that this has had on our business is greater efficiency. It has it's given us repetitive communication and flow. It improved our accuracy and accountability by reviewing an approval points. There's a double check. Visibility, we can instantly see where we're at with the project, and the client experience is consistent. Every client receives the same service from documentation collection to post follow-up, which reinforces our brand promise and in reliability and trust. So this here makes our tax service organized, dependable, and scalable.
That's excellent. Thank you. So well thought out and so well explained. And I'm just going to totally shout out. I've told Denise this before, I believe. You have the best hair. It is so cool. I know that's not workflow related, but I think I've mentioned that to you before. So there you go. Okay.
Every gray hair is from a tax return before financial sense.
Nice.
Okay, thanks so much. Now we are going to go to Steve. Oh, Steve, and I know this. Snownev of Fingo, Bookkeeping and Tax. Oh, Steve, I just totally butchered that, and I'm sorry. You know how much I adore you, and I didn't mean to do the name wrong.
It's all good. It's Steve Thone from Fingo Bookkeeping and Tax, based in Edmonton, Alberta. And no, we don't have snow yet. We did have it for one day, and it's all melted. So we're back in the positive and sunny days. Let me share my screen and show you my workflow. The workflow I'll present today is something that we call client onboarding. But before this call, I figured let me rename it because maybe not everyone is going to understand what I mean by that. It's more of a file opening workflow. We've taken our onboarding process and we've broken it down into two chunks. The first chunk is like the actual file opening, setting up the client into Financial Sense and whatever other platforms and apps they use. But then there's a second portion to it, and that is more the detailed onboarding that they would be doing directly. So with the file opening, the goal is that we only ask the client for things once, and there are things that we need as a firm to just have them set up properly on our end. So in our workflow, it's something that is taken care of mostly by our administrator, except only one task here, and I'll explain to you why. We obviously start with having a questionnaire from the client, understanding what their needs are. We'll have a kickoff call with them. We'll then send a request for documents so we understand what things are going on and what needs to happen. And eventually we'll receive a package from them. And we want to make sure that that package that we receive is actually related to what we need. Sometimes clients feel like they've given us the information, but quite often, all of you will know, they don't actually give us what we're asking them for. It's just their interpretation of what they think is right. And similar to what other people presented today, one of the big things that Financial Sense has and is really helpful is the ability to have sections and to chunk things up. So we have created client requests, and in our template, we break that down into 3 sections. The first one is for everyone. That means every client would need to provide us this right at the beginning of their engagement with us. Things like our engagement letter, access to the tax authority, and quite important for us because we work fully virtually, we want to do an identity verification of all the clients. So we know we're actually working for the people who have authority to sign off and make decisions for that entity. It could be an individual or it could be a corporation. So we want to see that identity verification for sole proprietor owners, but as well as all of the directors of a corporation. And then the other 2 sections we have is our sole proprietors. They need to give us less things. or corporations where they need to give us more things. So the reason we like to have these things chunked up, as we prepare this template into a client's file, we could easily just click on the 3 dots and delete the sections that we don't want. Once everything is fully set up and prepared, my responsibility is to make sure that the correct person has signed the engagement letter, not their friend or their spouse when they were not supposed to. And then subsequent to that, everything else can go to back to my team. They make sure all of the apps are set up for them. They would create any passwords in the vault. We would make sure we review all of the necessary projects. Some of them may not be necessary, but we still like to have an exhaustive list that we can remove things from. And then finally, we will set up a re-engagement with them so we can, on a regular basis, stay in touch. The reason why this template helps us is it has everything in a single spot, and we know when we're onboarding a client, it doesn't matter if it's a bookkeeping client or a tax one, we could use this to just get their file open and set up, and the template itself is going to guide us to make sure all additional projects and potentially other templates that we need to use to make sure that that client completes the entire kickoff altogether. And that is my template.
Well, thank you, Steve. We
Thank
really
you.
appreciate you showing off what you've got going on there.
Absolutely.
Okay, so now we are down to the last one, and that is Stephanie Ramirez of Assured Bookkeeping Plus. So, Stephanie, come on down.
Woo!
Hello. All right, that would be me, I guess. All right, my template is lead tracking. And I'm gonna go all the way back to the beginning. I don't know how many people out there want to track people and I call it a soft lead when we're out and we're networking and we get business cards and we come back and we have a stack of them, or we get a phone call and we're like, oh, I'm going to remember them. I'm going to call them. And then we come over here and we're like, oh, where did I put that? Oh, or we put it in the system and it's like, oh, now we have a duplicate. Oh, we put it in QuickBooks. Oh, now we've got a duplicate in Financial Sense. Oh, now we got a duplicate over here. So what I created is a lead tracking in Financial Sense that is in the hub under what I have a client called My Business in Financial Sense. And underneath there, it's a project called lead tracking. And so I will share my screen. And what this has done is it's basically turning soft leads into real money because everything is in one spot. And so it's called lead tracking. And what we do is we turn this when we get that business card, when we get anything, we're going to come in here and we're going to have this template and we're going to turn this into the name of the new potential client. We're going to edit this, we're going to create it another project into that. Let's say it's ABC Contractors. And then we're going to make it a current soft lead. And we're going to receive the inquiry, put the information into the system. Internally, we have a Microsoft questionnaire form that we send them. And we just go right down the line in the task. It's assigned to my account manager. Inside of here, we have internal tasks. We open it up. We actually have a task in here that it will automatically send them the Microsoft form. And then the system knows to send it the form. When it comes back, it says we've reviewed the questionnaire and it comes back with it. Save the questionnaire as the client's name inside of the folder. We just mark off the subtasks inside of here. And then it tells us what to do. It says we verified that it's an actual business. We just come right down, and it never hits Financial Sense as a client. It never hits QuickBooks as a client. This is all your soft leads. You're able to put a date in the system as far as when you want to follow back up with the client. You can schedule your discovery call. You can email options with the consultation. You can schedule the consultation. I have tags inside of Financial Sense. It'll automatic with the automations. inside of Financial Sense so that you can open up this task and at a glance, you'll see where this soft lead is at. We have received the information. We've had a consultation scheduled. You can look and see exactly where this soft lead is at any point in time. There's a follow-up according to the date and where you're at with this particular client or potential client. Goes all the way down. You're going to send out estimates, and then when it's accepted, then you're going to send out an engagement letter. Once that is done and you come all the way down to the bottom, that is when you're actually going to put this as a client. Then you're going to actually close this as a soft lead, and you're going to put this in as a client. That's when you're going to close this, and it's no longer a soft lead anymore. That's when you're actually going to put it either in Financial Sense, depending on where you have it set up. If you're in the new Financial Sense and it goes into your proposals here, and then it pushes into your QuickBooks or in your QuickBooks, whatever systems you're using. And that's where it's really working for me, because again, soft leads are real money, and you can either close it out and make it cold, and then, or you can close it out and now you have an actual paying client. Because I don't know about you, but I have lost many clients because they're sitting on my desk and they're forgotten about. And so this has definitely worked for me. And it's all in one place. And once you turn this into, it's revenue. Definitely revenue.
That's great. Well, thank you, Stephanie. We appreciate you showing us, and it's interesting to do a lead tracking system this way. It's nice that it doesn't hit as a client and take up that kind of, I don't know what you call it, space.
I definitely had that problem in my books, and I'd heard a lot of other people having, there's so many duplicates, and I can't track my leads because they're over here, and then they get forgotten about because they're really not clients.
So that's great. Well, thank you, Stephanie. And I think back to you, Yuri, you're going to wrap this up, right? Because tomorrow we do the discussion.
That's right. That's right. Tomorrow is going to be the big day where the winner will be announced. And I was saving this for the end of it. This has been really great sessions. These are really, really good submissions. So we're gonna have a pretty. You guys are gonna have a pretty tough time here. I said we, but I don't get the votes here. But you guys are gonna have a pretty tough time with all of these, because they're all really good suggestions, really good options for how to manage that workflow. But we're also going to have some audience participation, because we're going to also have you guys vote as well, which will help the judges as well decide. And we're going to see who's going to be the ultimate winner of the Mexico trip. But with that behind us, and with us having a little bit more time left here, I know some folks were asking before what my favorite session was. I was a really big fan of the Kenji's keynote speech, but I'd love to hear in the comments here, if you guys want to drop, what was your favorite session and what did you guys take away from day one? Because I think one of the main things with conferences that a lot of us have, and I'm just as guilty, is, you go into it, you want to learn something, you're curious about it, but then you kind of show up, talk to some people, head back, and end up doing the same exact thing. So what did you guys take away from day one? Put it in the chat, and something actionable that you're going to do. Yes, Erica Goody is indeed awesome. Just get started. Oh man, I got to talk about this one a little bit. Just get started is such a small thing and such a little thing to say, but with so much impact, because I feel like as accountants, a lot of us do tend to be very overthinking. Very overthinking. I don't know if that's a word, but we tend to really overthink a lot of things and overthink our decisions, overthink everything we want. There's so many shiny objects out there with tech and all these things that I constantly see. It's funny, like I mentioned this at the beginning of being a workflow con myself, in the sense that I don't even have any workflows. But what I mean by that is I run my firm, with an Excel, and to this day, and I'm in year 4, and so this whole conference alone is teaching me. I mean, I do need to step that up a little bit and get with the times in that regard. But the other side of it is you could still have a successful firm without going after all of these shiny objects. You're not successful just because you you don't have all the shiny objects. So just get started. To go back to that, just get started and really just do your best, get started, and you learn along the way. Don't overthink all these different things and all the other options and all these fancy things. That's my take on it personally, and I've gone through it. I've learned a bunch of stuff, so it's super important. Let's see what else. What other submissions are there?
Okay, great.
Oh,
So
let's see.
we're gonna Peter, Denise, and myself are going to take a few minutes to just talk about our initial thoughts before we really get into the meat of it tomorrow.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so Peter, do you have some initial thoughts that you want to share?
Yes, it's nice to see templates on some of our most important tasks, and the quality of this year's submission was really good. I'm actually a big fan of using financial sense templates for non-accounting tasks, like client onboarding or lead tracking. So I'm glad to see they're represented in finals.
Yeah, Denise,
absolutely.
do you have some thoughts?
Yeah, I was really stoked to see in this year's submissions a lot of automation. I know that it's a buzzword in our industry, but to see that a lot of people are really leveraging those task automations and putting it into practice, super happy to see that.
Yeah, all I'm going to do is say what you two said, but I will add in. I did like to see there were some tag automations. There was some workflow where you started a new workflow from workflow if certain things happen. The automated client tasks going out and the email. So for sure, lots of use of time savers for us all because we don't need to be sending those things out, or changing those things. I'm with Peter. I really like the that there was some different. I mean, yeah, it's great to have an onboarding one. 100%, we need that, and a tax one. It's nice to see it being used in some other ways because running our business is almost as important as doing the client work efficiently. So I have one that I absolutely love, and that is for my email and blog campaigns. And we've set that all up in sections so that Maddie, my admin, and I can coordinate in there and know where things are at as well. So yeah, I mean, I just like to see the creative use of them and the automation. So basically, I just took too much time to say what Peter and Denise said. Just had to throw my 2 cents worth in, I guess. So yeah. So
That is
okay.
yeah, those submissions were really good. Then and like I was saying before, it's like it's tough. You want to do it all, you want to automate as much as possible, and I think that there's so many different options and so many different ways to automate. Learned a lot from Nao too in her presentation, so this was really really good as well. So but I guess now we're gonna have you guys. I'll take the rest of the stage here. Everybody say bye to our awesome judges, and again, we are going to see them at the end of the day tomorrow, and for the final kind of showdown, and that's where we're going to see them at, and you're going to be able to see who wins. So I saw you guys submitted all those. Your submissions are going to be also factored in and looked at, so that's great. So yeah, you guys have been great. I really hope you guys enjoyed everything from today's session. I truly feel like this has been incredible for me personally to be on that one, to have a little bit of that fun aspect at the beginning, and plus a little bit of more serious with the panel discussions and being there and introducing Kenji and doing all this. This has been really, really cool. So yeah, I wanted to say thank you everybody for joining in. I want to see some other, some of your feedback as to, for tomorrow. So I just want to also run through some of the things that I want you to expect and look out for tomorrow's session. So we're once again going to have an incredible keynote. We're going to have Lauren Baptiste on. It's going to be awesome. We're going to have another session of Who Wants to Be an Accounting Millionaire. We're going to have the Workflow Showdown, the grand finale that we were talking about. We're going to have a virtual raffle, leaderboard prizes. The social challenges are going to continue. And then we're going to have a after party with a DJ Sarah Elledge, which is going to be really awesome to have as well. So really looking forward for tomorrow. We're going to bring the hype again tomorrow over here. And I already got a song request for tomorrow's morning session. So you best believe that I will be doing it, but it's going to be a surprise. I will not ruin the surprise for you guys until tomorrow morning. So again, thank you everybody for joining in. I appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow.